Call Joseph D'Souza.
I think you want to make a phone call. Is that right?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Dial Joseph D'Souza.
I think you want to make a phone call. Is that right?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Make a phone call.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Hey Google. What time is it?
It's 10:31 a.m.
How's the weather? How's the weather today?
Today in North York, it'll be partly cloudy, with a forecasted high of 16 and a low of 2. Currently it's 15 degrees and partly cloudy.
Call Joseph D'Souza mobile.
I think you want to make a phone call. Is that right?
Yes.